Would you believe me if I told you that a single 1950 wheat penny, yes, a 1-cent coin, was sold for $1.8 million? Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, buckle up, because in this video, we're diving into the fascinating history, origin, rarity, and current market value of the mysterious and mind-blowingly valuable 1950 no-mint mark wheat penny. Is it a mistake? A rarity? Or simply a misunderstood treasure hiding in plain sight? Let's find out. The wheat penny, officially known as the Lincoln wheat cent, was first minted in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, quite a shift from the allegorical figures of liberty before it. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse carries Lincoln's iconic profile, while the reverse features two simple wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent. It remained in production until 1958, when the reverse was changed to the Lincoln Memorial. Wheat pennies were minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. But not all wheat pennies were created equal, and that brings us to our star of the show, the 1950 no mint mark wheat penny. Now, 1950 wasn't a particularly low mintage year for pennies. In fact, Philadelphia produced over 272 million of them. So, what makes one of them worth over $1 million? Well, like many rare coins, the devil is in the details. For the 1950 no mint mark wheat penny, it all comes down to condition, errors, and unexpected die varieties. Some of these pennies were struck with incredibly sharp detail due to a fresh die, what collectors call full red in mint state condition. Others may feature ultra-rare die errors, like a double die obverse or off-center strike. But there's one in particular, a coin that was graded MS68 plus red, that turned the numismatic world upside down. In the world of coin collecting, condition is king. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, and anything MS67 or higher is considered extremely rare for wheat pennies. The 1950 no mint mark wheat penny that reportedly sold for $1.8 million was one of only a handful graded MS68 plus red by PCGS. One of the most respected grading agencies in the world. It wasn't just in perfect condition. It was pristine, brilliantly red, and virtually untouched since the day it was minted. Add an historical appeal, and you've got a coin that serious collectors are willing to spend millions on to complete their dream set. Today, most 1950 wheat pennies are worth just a few cents to a few dollars, especially if circulated. But uncirculated, brilliant red, and especially graded coins can fetch hundreds to thousands. A typical MS65 red 1950 penny? About $15 to $30. But MS67 or higher? Now you're talking hundreds. And MS68 plus? Practically unicorn level, hence the $1.8 million price tag in a high-profile private sale. This wasn't your average penny. This was a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and collector demand. Think you might have a valuable penny lying around? Here's what to do: look for the 1950 date and check for a missing mint mark under the date. Check the color. Is it a dull brown or brilliant red? Examine for errors, like doubling in the text or off-center striking. Get it professionally graded if you think it's uncirculated or rare. Use a jeweler's loupe, a strong light, and compare with known examples. Who knows? Your spare change might be a hidden gem. So there you have it, the story of how a humble 1950 wheat penny became a multi-million-dollar marvel. It's a reminder that even the most ordinary things can hold extraordinary value. All it takes is the right eyes, the right timing, and maybe a little luck. 1950 wheat penny has stunned the numismatic world, and we're going to tell you exactly why. From its intriguing mint history to what makes this coin so rare, stick around to the end to find out why this humble 1-cent piece is turning heads and wallets all over the world. The Lincoln wheat penny was minted from 1909 to 1958 and features the iconic wheat stalks on the reverse. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, and it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, President Abraham Lincoln, on the obverse. Fast forward to 1950, a post-war America was booming. The U.S. Mint in Denver, identified by the small D mint mark under the date, produced over 334 million pennies that year. So, what makes the 1950D so special? While most 1950D wheat pennies are common and worth just a few cents to a few dollars, the $1.7 million coin is no ordinary cent. It's a numismatic unicorn, one of the very few flawless examples known to exist in a mint state 67+ red condition. Only a handful have ever received such a high grade from professional grading services like PCGS. Why? Because copper coins are notoriously prone to spotting, tarnishing, and wear. To survive over 70 years in near-perfect condition is incredibly rare. But that's not all. Some experts believe this particular coin may have struck from an unusually fresh die, resulting in sharper details and flawless edges. Combine that with pristine preservation and massive collector demand, and you've got yourself a $1 million coin. The exact coin in question sold at a major auction in recent years for a staggering $1.7 million. This price wasn't just about rarity, it was about perfection. It was the only known 1950 degraded MS67+ read by PCGS at the time, making it a Pop 1 coin, population 1, none finer. For collectors, that's like owning the Mona Lisa of Lincoln cents. And when two or more high-end collectors want the same ultra-rare coin, the price can go into the stratosphere. So, where does this leave the rest of us? Most 1950 wheat pennies in circulated condition are worth between 5 cents and $1.50. Uncirculated examples can fetch up to $20 to $50, depending on grade. But if you have a raw coin tucked away in a coin album or inherited from a relative, it's worth checking. You might just have a diamond in the rough. And if your coin looks pristine, deep red luster, no contact marks, it's worth sending in for professional grading. The 1950 wheat penny reminds us of a golden rule in collecting: rarity and condition reign supreme. It's not about how many were minted, it's about how many survived perfectly. And in the case of this penny, just one made it to the top, and it made history. So check your change jars, dig out those coin albums, and who knows? Maybe your next penny could change your life. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more rare coin deep dives. Got a rare coin of your own? Tell us in the comments. 1952 wheat penny with no mint mark is now valued at a staggering $1.6 million. Stay tuned, because today, we're diving deep into the mystery, rarity, and value of the 1952 no mint mark wheat penny. The story begins in 1909, when the U.S. Mint introduced the Lincoln wheat cent to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. Designed by Victor D. Brenner, the coin features Lincoln's profile on the front and two wheat stalks on the reverse. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. Minted from 1909 to 1958, wheat pennies were struck in three primary locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D., and San Francisco, S. Over the years, collectors have hunted for rare minting errors, low production runs, and coins in pristine condition. Now let's zoom into 1952. At first glance, the 1952 no mint mark penny seems, well, ordinary. Millions were produced in Philadelphia that year, and by default, coins from that mint carry no mint mark. So what's the big deal? The answer lies in an extremely rare combination of three factors. Uncirculated condition. This coin is in near-perfect shape. Die variety or error. Some 1952 pennies were misstruck, have off-center designs, double dies, or even unusual planchet materials. Provenance. The $1 million coin we're talking about today came from a private collector who held onto it for decades before sending it in for grading. It received an ultra-rare MS68+ red designation, one of the highest known for that year and mint. In recent years, the numismatic world has seen a huge surge in interest, especially for rare Lincoln cents. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby anymore, it's a serious investment market. In 2024, a verified 1952 no mint mark wheat penny sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. Yes, you heard that right. One penny. $1.6 million. This explosion in value is driven by demand from collectors, low supply of perfect specimens, and a growing awareness thanks to social media and YouTube videos, just like this one. Think you might have a rare one? Here's what to look for. Check for a clean, uncirculated surface. No scratches, no discoloration. Look at the mint mark area. A true Philadelphia coin will have no mint mark under the date. Search for errors. Doubling on Liberty or In God We Trust can be worth thousands. Use a magnifier and a good light source. Still unsure? Submit your coin to professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC. For a few bucks, you could unlock a massive payday. Why would anyone pay over $1 million for a penny? It comes down to 3 reasons. There may be only one in that perfect condition. Coins are time capsules of American history. Owning the rarest penny is like owning the Mona Lisa of coins. These coins are pieces of American legacy, said one collector. They tell stories no dollar bill ever could. So check your piggy banks, junk drawers, and coin jars. You just might be holding a tiny piece of history worth more than a Ferrari. Don't forget to like this video if you found it interesting, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next $1 million mystery. Who knows? You might be holding the next big find. 1953 No Mint Mark Wheat Penny. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon, because you might just be holding a fortune in your pocket change. The Lincoln Wheat Cent, or Wheat Penny, was first minted in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person instead of symbolic figures like Lady Liberty or an eagle. From 1909 to 1958, these pennies carried 2 wheat stalks on the reverse, hence the name. Over time, certain years and mint marks have become incredibly rare, especially when mistakes or limited runs occurred. 1953 wheat pennies were minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. Over 256 million pennies were struck in Philadelphia that year, which would typically make the no mint mark version common. So, why the hype? Why is one specific 1953 no mint mark wheat penny valued at $1.5 million? In 2023, rumors swirled around a 1953 no mint mark wheat penny allegedly selling for $1.5 million at a private collector's auction. The reason? It was reportedly a flawless specimen with a double die obverse, full original red luster, and near-perfect preservation, graded MS68 plus RD by PCGS.in. The world of numismatics. That's like finding a flawless diamond. Combine condition rarity, eye appeal, and a die error, and you've got a coin that's not just valuable, it's historic. But let's pump the brakes. Not every 1953 no mint mark penny is worth millions. Most are worth 2 to 50 cents in circulated condition. Uncirculated ones, maybe $5 to $15. So what sets the $1 million coin apart? Authentication, condition, and rarity. That $1.5 million figure isn't for just any 1953 penny. It's for a perfect storm of condition, error, and collector demand. If you think you have a valuable penny, get it graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. Here's what to look for if you're hunting for a 1953 wheat penny treasure. Look for doubling in Liberty, the date, and In God We Trust. Red pennies, RD, are more valuable than brown ones. Crisp lines, no wear, clean surfaces. Anything above MS65 is gold. Literally. Always use proper lighting and magnification. A $20 loop can help you find a $200,000 error. Here's a breakdown of current values for the 1953 no mint mark wheat penny. Always check recent auction results. Demand can spike, especially if influencers or collectors start buzzing about a rare find. The 1953 no mint mark wheat penny is proof that even something as small as a coin can hold enormous value, both historically and financially. While most won't be $1 million treasures, they're a tangible link to America's past. And who knows, maybe yours is the next record-breaker. So the next time you find a wheat penny, don't spend it. Study it. Save it. Grade it. It might just change your life. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and drop a comment if you've got a cool coin story. 1953 Dewey penny with a value of $1.7 million. This script assumes a style combining educational narration with on-screen visuals and occasional voiceover emphasis to keep viewers hooked. Would you believe me if I told you a single penny, yes, just 1 cent, could be worth a staggering $1.7 million today? This is not a fantasy or a collector's dream. It's a real coin, a real story, and a real fortune hiding in plain sight. So, grab your coin jars and stick around, because today we're diving deep into the history, rarity, and unbelievable market value of the 1953 Dewey penny. The year is 1953. Dwight D. Eisenhower is the president. America is in the middle of the post-war boom. And the Denver Mint, denoted by the little d under the coin's date, is producing millions of pennies. In fact, over 700 million wheat pennies were minted in 1953, just from Denver. It was just another year, or was it? These coins were meant for everyday transactions, gum, newspapers, a bottle of cola. But somewhere in that massive batch, something extraordinary was struck. So how does a 1953 D penny, something so common, end up being worth more than most luxury cars? The answer lies in a combination of condition, rarity, and mystery. Most 1953 Dewey pennies are worth a few cents to a couple of dollars, depending on condition. But one example changed everything. In 2021, a Mint State 68 Plus red 1953 Dewey penny, meaning nearly perfect and blazing with original color, was auctioned and shocked the coin world with a price tag of $1.7 million. To understand the price, we have to understand the grading system. Coins are rated on a scale from 1 to 70. An MS 68 Plus means it's nearly flawless, especially rare for a penny that was never meant to be collected. Even more stunning, there's only one known 1953 Dewey penny in that condition. One. In the entire world. That's rarer than many famous gold coins. It's the equivalent of having the only surviving Ferrari of a legendary model. And collectors will pay top dollar, literally millions, for that level of exclusivity. Let's rewind a bit. The wheat penny was minted from 1909 to 1958 and designed by Victor D. Brenner. You'll recognize it by the 2 wheat stalks flanking the words 1 cent on the reverse. It was America's first coin to feature a real person, Abraham Lincoln, in honor of his 100th birthday in 1909. Collectors cherish the wheat penny not only for its design, but for what it represents, a piece of American history in your pocket. The legendary sale happened at a Heritage Auctions event, where the pristine coin shocked bidders and experts alike. At a starting bid of $250,000, the numbers kept climbing. And then, it happened. The gavel dropped at $1.7 million. A penny had just made numismatic history. This coin didn't have any known errors, no double dies, no famous misprints, just perfection in condition, rarity, and demand. You might be thinking, wait, I have a jar of old pennies. Could I be sitting on a gold mine? Start by checking for the 1953 date and that tiny D mint mark under the year. Then, check condition, any signs of wear, scratches, discoloration? If it looks untouched and still has that original red luster, you might be onto something. Of course, to be worth big bucks, it needs to be in gem uncirculated condition, preferably graded by PCGS or NGC. The coin market is hotter than ever. Rare wheat pennies, especially those in high grades or with errors, are commanding premium prices. While most 1953 D pennies are worth between 3 cents and $5 depending on grade, the ultra-rare MS 68 Plus example changed the narrative and the price floor. So, what's the moral of the story? Check your change, dig into your grandparents' coin collections, and don't dismiss that old penny. It might just be the next $1 million discovery. If you enjoyed this story of small change making a big impact, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more amazing coin history and rare finds. And tell us in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? 1954 Dewey penny. Let's uncover what makes this little copper coin so incredibly special. First, let's rewind the clock. The wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, was minted from 1909 to 1958. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, President Abraham Lincoln, and the wheat stalks on the reverse symbolized national prosperity. The series was designed by Victor David Brenner and instantly became iconic. Most wheat pennies are common, even today. But as with any collectible, rarity, condition, and errors can skyrocket a coin's value. The Denver Mint, marked with a D, produced over 251 million wheat pennies in 1954. So how did one of them become a $1 million treasure? On the surface, the 1954 D penny doesn't look extraordinary. But here's where it gets fascinating. A tiny number of 1954 D cents have unusual features, most notably, ultra-rare mint errors, pristine uncirculated condition, or even suspected off-metal strikes. One recently surfaced coin has stunned experts. It's been graded MS68 red by PCGS, placing it in the highest echelon of mint state quality. We're talking about a coin struck so perfectly, with full original luster, it looks like it just left the mint yesterday. And it's more than just beauty, it's one of a kind. The coin we're talking about today is believed to be the finest known specimen of its kind. Some collectors and dealers even suspect a mint mistake, or experiment, possibly struck on a foreign planchet or with double die features, though details remain tightly guarded by the current private owner. In the world of coin collecting, condition is king. But rarity and mystery are the crown jewels. Most 1954 D wheat pennies in average circulated condition are worth only a few cents. But those in mint condition, especially red specimens, can reach up to $3,000 to $10,000. That alone is impressive, but $1.50 million? This price came after a private collector paid a record-breaking amount for the finest known 1954 D in existence. This transaction, which occurred quietly through a high-end numismatic dealer, has sent shockwaves through the coin community. According to insiders, the buyer was drawn not only by the coin's condition but also by its unconfirmed error features, details that might eventually rewrite what we thought we knew about the 1954 Denver Mint run. Top numismatists have weighed in. David Hall, co-founder of PCGS, has called this coin an absolute unicorn. Others compare it to the 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle, a coin not meant to exist, yet valued in the millions. What's important to understand is that collectors at this level aren't just buying a coin, they're buying history, mystery, and market dominance. The rarity of a coin like this could mean its value only increases over time. Some experts even suggest it could be a transition error, struck as the mint experimented with different metals in anticipation of later changes to the penny's composition. Now you might be thinking, I have a jar of old pennies. Could I have one of these? Check for the D mint mark under the year 1954. Look for strong luster and no signs of wear. This indicates uncirculated condition. Any doubling in letters or numbers? Could be a double die. Off-metal coloring or weight? You might have an error strike. Get your coin graded by PCGS or NGC if you suspect it's special. A certified high-grade wheat penny could be worth thousands, or in this case, millions. So, could a simple penny change your life? If it's the 1954 D wheat penny, and it's the right one, absolutely. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, remember, coins are time capsules. Each one holds a story, and sometimes that story is worth a fortune. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss more tales of hidden treasures, rare finds, and the amazing world of coins. 1955 wheat penny with no mint mark is worth up to $1.8 million today? What makes this ordinary-looking penny one of the most expensive coins in American history? Stick around, because today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coin stories of the 20th century. You'll learn its origins, why it's so valuable, and how you might just have a fortune hiding in your pocket change. The wheat penny, officially known as the Lincoln cent, was introduced in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. Designed by Victor David Brenner, its iconic wheat stalks on the reverse symbolized prosperity. Now, in 1955, these coins were still being made in Philadelphia, which traditionally didn't use a mint mark. That's why this penny has no P or any letter beneath the date. Here's where it gets wild. During one night shift in 1955, something went wrong. Due to a misalignment of the coin dies, thousands of pennies were accidentally struck twice, creating a now famous error, the 1955 doubled die wheat penny. You can clearly see the doubling on the date 1955, the word liberty, and even in God we trust. It's one of the most dramatic and visible minting errors ever discovered. Initially, the mint didn't catch the error. Around 24,000 of these coins entered circulation, mostly in cigarette vending machine change across the northeastern U.S. It wasn't long before collectors caught on, and a legend was born. Today, finding a genuine 1955 doubled die wheat penny in pristine condition is like discovering buried treasure. Most are worn from circulation, but a few uncirculated examples have fetched astronomical prices. Yes, in 2024, a flawless, mint state 67 red version sold for $1.8 million in a private collector's auction. That makes it one of the most expensive Lincoln cents ever sold. Value depends heavily on condition and certification. Lower grade examples still sell for $1,000 to $10,000, while high grade ones can reach 6 or even 7 figures. Make sure your coin is graded by services like PCGS or NGC. With big money comes big fakes. The market is flooded with counterfeit 1955 double die cents, some made using acid, others with laser etching. Look for sharp doubling, not blurry. Check liberty and date. Use a loupe or microscope. A real double die is clean, sharp, and unmistakable. If you suspect you have one, don't guess, get it authenticated professionally. Want to see if you have one? Start by checking any 1955 Lincoln cent you find. Use a magnifier or jeweler's loupe to examine the date and lettering. Even a beat-up example could still be worth thousands. People have literally found these in old jars, inherited collections, and even pocket change. They're rare, but not impossible to find. So next time you spot an old penny, take a closer look. That little coin in your hand might just be worth $1 million. Literally. If you enjoyed this story, hit that like button, subscribe for more coin collecting mysteries, and drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin. 1956 No Mint Mark Wheat Penny. Stay tuned, because this little copper coin has a story you won't believe. The year was 1956. Dwight D. Eisenhower was president. Elvis was rising, and America was booming post-World War II. In coin collecting circles, the penny still featured the classic wheat reverse, a design by Victor David Brenner first introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. Most pennies struck in 1956 were minted in Philadelphia and Denver, with Philadelphia coins lacking a mint mark, as was standard. So. Yes, most 1956 no mint mark pennies aren't rare. But here's the twist. One particular 1956 no mint mark penny isn't like the others. This ultra-rare specimen had something different, an oddity that slipped through the cracks, unnoticed for decades, until collectors discovered what could be a minting mystery worth a fortune. Experts believe this coin is the result of a minting error or a rare transitional mistake. Some speculate it may have been struck using a wrong planchet, or it has anomalous die markers not seen in other 1956 issues. Even though most 1956 pennies look the same, this coin exhibits die doubling, a unique die crack, an unusual metal composition that set it apart. Only one confirmed specimen like this has surfaced, and its authenticated uniqueness sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. According to coin grading experts, this coin doesn't just carry historical value, it's one of a kind. In the world of coin collecting, rarity is everything. This 1956 wheat penny was authenticated by leading third-party grading services, like PCGS and NGC, and given a grade near mint state, which only added to its allure. Collectors know that out of the hundreds of millions of 1956 pennies minted, this specific anomaly may be truly unique. That's why collectors and even private investors began bidding, and eventually, this coin's value was estimated at an astonishing $1.6 million. It's not just the metal or the mint year, it's the perfect storm of rarity, condition, and mystery. There are reports that a private collector purchased this piece at a high-end auction, though the full details remain somewhat secretive. High-end coins like this are sometimes bought through private sales, often never seen in public again. Market experts agree, as more collectors enter the scene, especially in digital and crypto wealth spaces, the demand for one-of-a-kind coins like this will only grow. And this penny? It's now considered a holy grail in US coinage. If you're checking your change jar or your grandparents' old coin collection, here's what to look for. Look for doubling on Liberty, or the date, unusual texture or color dye cracks or off-center strikes, weight anomalies or sound differences. If you think you've found one, send it to a grading service. And who knows, you might be sitting on $1 million coin. The story of the 1956 no-mint Mark Wheat penny reminds us of a timeless truth. Sometimes, the smallest things hold the greatest value. It's not just about money, it's about history, rarity, and the thrill of the hunt. So next time you get change from the store, check those pennies. Your $1 million treasure might be closer than you think. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin. Like this video if you love coin collecting, and hit subscribe for more amazing coin stories, facts, and values.